Am I live yet? Am I live yet? Hello? Geez, let me find things. Never find the actual stream. Where is it? Okay. So this I'm gonna find the chat. I hope. Where's the chat? Oh my god. It's like I've never done this before. Hello? Okay. Am I live? I think I'm live now. My internet is not. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah. Turn that off. Go over here. Try and find the chat. Why can't I find the freaking chat? This is a freaking amateur hour I got going on right now. Pop out the chat. That's what I did. Yeah, I don't know why the YouTube the YouTube like go live now thing. I clicked it and it said it was going live, and then it didn't show anybody my camera, which really kind of was frustrating. Um, how is everyone? How is everyone doing? That's my question for tonight. Maybe I am too painful for YouTube. Finally getting some standards. I think I set it to tweet too, Zach. But yeah, as many tweets as we could get, that would be awesome to let people know that the new magic hour is upon us. I've got so many freaking apps open on my computer, and now where is my freaking there? Why are you over here? I don't want you over here. Okay, I'm gonna learn how to use my computer like really quickly. How is everyone doing tonight? Yes, Tech for Your Needs doing fabulous. I'm glad to hear it. I'm okay. I'm okay. Um, Zach just sent out the tweet. I'm doing okay. It's yeah, Slava. It's good to see you. I am back. Maliko, good to see you. Truth of Tech. I have you been here before? Because I don't. There's so many techs. But anyway, if you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. Man, the odyssey that is my relationship with Best Buy Tech for Your Needs is such that that I ca I know, Viper. Good to see you. It's been at least, like, you know, just over 12 hours or something like that. Well, I guess almost, yeah, 16 hours. But, I am I am trying to get Best Buy to honor their return policy. See, the one reason I'm really adamant about it is the 2017 MacBook Pro. Apple has admitted, "Okay, we're gonna fix it for free because it's defective." And I'm still within my return window, and they should allow me to exchange for the new model that supposedly that supposedly, I is possibly fixed. But I gotta call some other corporate office on Monday. But until then, I tried that, Jeff. It's still on my account. So it's, yeah, my wife offered to try and do it, and, it's still on my account, so I can't they just go into my account and they see no go. So, yeah, I did talk to the company yesterday that handles the banhammer for Best Buy, and boy, were they nice people. They were I was just so I was just so happy with my interaction. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm being sarcastic. They were a-holes. And, basically, Best Buy and this company called, the Retail Exchange or Advantage or something, Retail something. Um, they they are like the bad cop, while Best Buy gets to play good cop. So Best Buy says, they handle everything when it comes to that. We can't do anything on our end. You gotta call them." So then I call them, and then they say, "Well, we don't do anything." Yeah, you can file a dispute, and you'll hear back in, 3 to 30 days. And then basically they hung up on me. So, you know. So we got Paul in here, we got OJ Gaming in here, we got, Tony D'Agostino. It was a great really good chain of, grocery stores in New York City called D'Agostino. Um, yeah, used to go there all the time when I lived in Manhattan. Randy, good to see you. So, okay, okay. Viper, and I slept like 4 or 5 hours after that stream last night. It was, it was a long one. 9:26. Okay, anybody who's in my stream right now, and I don't have the link um, to Viper's channel, maybe Zach, if you could grab that, that would be awesome. Anybody who's in my stream right now who isn't subscribed to our boy Viper, um, he's 70 something subscribers away from his 1,000. So help us get him to 1,000 by subscribing. He makes some really great content, and is a really stand up guy. And he claims to be the captain of Team Apple. So Monaco says sub to Viper or else. There's his link. Zach, who's got the moderator stick, um, put it up in there. Okay, I'll make Monaco mod too. Add moderator. So now you guys both have the moderator stick. Um, no sword fighting. Scott Sadler, good to see you, man. Michael, good to see you. 9:27. Okay, good, good. The Best Buy talk is, I may make like a whole video about this Best Buy situation. Alan, good to see you. Dop, it's good to see you, man. Nice to meet you last night. Krista, hello. Um, yeah, Malako, no, you do a good job over there at FPT, so I know you'll do great for me too. Um, Mark, good to see you. Sunshine Factory. Future so bright, gotta wear shades on your emoji. Awesome. Yeah, OJ Gaming, I do this like most every Saturday night after after John and Brian finish the Recycle Bin podcast. It's just especially right now. I spent the day packing to get ready to move, and I worked a little bit on the video, but I need to get some B-roll, and I just don't have the I don't have the stamina to get B-roll right now. So I'm talking to you guys live. Well, here's the thing, Rashid. I'm Elite Plus, so I get 45 days to return stuff. Um, I get 45 days to return stuff, and the problem was I literally went there and got 5 different computers, laptop and desktop, and there was something not right about all of them. So by the time I got to the end of the whole run, I I hit whatever magical limit there is, and I can't do anything. So the Best Buy people are like, "We can't help you." And then the people at retail, whatever it is, just they seem to enjoy, uh, ruining people's day. So I don't know. Yeah, I've had run-ins with managers too, at Best Buy, where the manager has just decided, like, to not let me return things as well. Um, Mike, thank you, thank you. Uh, and that was a little bit more BS, but, I mean, the truth of the matter is, like, they know that I have a YouTube channel, so they think that I'm doing all this just to get free stuff for YouTube and then return it. But that's not I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that anymore, Maybe there was a time when I did, but it's been a while since I can either get for myself what I wanna review, or I can get from the manufacturer what I wanna review, and, reviews aren't the only thing that I'm doing these days. I'm doing a lot of different content, so I don't have the need to have all that stuff going on. Um, but I do want to get a good solid product when I buy something, and if I spend $2,800 on a computer, I want it to be, free of defects before the freaking, return window closes. Zach, I saw I saw I saw Drew's video. It kinda shocked me. I don't wanna say anything because 'cause I'm a little upset, and I'm sure we'll talk it through, but I don't wanna say really anything about it. Uh, I don't I commented on one of his Twitter posts, because I thought he was, going after Zone of Tech and everything Apple Pro for pirating software. So I guess it's a meme, and, I have a different understanding of what memes are, so I didn't, you know, I just I guess I misinterpreted it, and I put up some comments that because it really upset me. I didn't think it was something to appropriate to do, even if so now that I know that that's not what he was doing, I have said mea culpa, but whatever. Um, it's it is what it is. So so your neighbor, it's Tailosive Tech, which is like an an Apple-centric channel that, that, you know, I've been friendly with in the past, I guess really, I made him mad, and he made a video about it. So, um, Total Tech, yes, indeed. Shit does happen. Um, Total Tech, if you and OnePlus can get along, anyone can fix it. I don't know what your history with OnePlus is, but seems like it would be easier to, easier to make up with a company than with a person, but maybe I'm wrong. The way that he presented what he presented on that video today was I think a little bit beyond the pale, which again, I'm not it was just kinda like, "Ah, well, that sucks." That's about all there was to it. Um, so anyway, like, I don't wanna get deep into it because, I don't want anything to be able to be taken out of context and make this thing go any more than it has. I've engaged the social medias about it, and, you know, so reading, reading. Oh, total tech, so okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's pretty lame. Um, you know, one thing that I did say on Twitter is that, I really like what Drew does, and I think Drew's really talented. Um, Sometimes I think he misses the mark a little bit, and, uh, and so I encourage like, I've made some comments and even an entire video sort of trying to trying to voice my thoughts about what's happening where and where he's maybe missing, in my opinion, missing the point. Um, it was the same thing with the Twitter thing, these past couple of days, but I guess it just struck him the wrong way. So, so when I DMs are like Twitter direct messages. So Monaco, I agree that it should be something that people, the two people involved should talk through. Um, and yeah, um, so yeah, Luke, yeah, he is young, and um, that's part of the reason why maybe my thinking is patriarchal and that's not appropriate, but Drew's literally young enough to be my child, and I like him, and I like what he's doing, and I think that he's, like I said, a really smart guy, and so I'm a teacher, I'm a father. Maybe I get a little caught up in the teaching and the father ideas, which is probably not appropriate to somebody who's not my student or or my child. So, yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and move away from this topic. I just wanted to, for the people who weren't filled in, um, that just wanted to give that background so people didn't feel in the dark. But let's talk about another subject. What other subject do we have to discuss? Anything, anyone. I've been kind of coveting an Apple TV 4K myself. I tried it out when it first came out. Ah, thank you, Zach. Much appreciated. I don't know, Best Buy plus this, it's not the Best Buy thing has been an ongoing struggle. Um, and the problem for me is I like to go to the store and shop for the thing that I'm going to get. It's part of the experience, but it also, like, it helps me sort of get my brain settled on what I'm getting and why. I'm in the middle of Iowa, and Best Buy is really the only place within 2 plus hours that I can go to shop for any kind of tech. Um, so, I'm there a lot, and the people at Best Buy know that I do this YouTube thing. I don't think they know what it entails when I to do YouTube, and they just think that I'm abusing their system. But that's not why I got cut off. I got cut off because I returned, like, literally 4 or 5 computers, and, uh, and they all were defective in one way or another, so I had to return them, and that's when I got the blacklist. So, I'm hoping I can get it I'm hoping I can get it worked out, um, because, yeah, it's the they I didn't even know, like, how long the ban was gonna be for because it didn't say, but apparently the ban is for, 12 months. So, you know, it is it is what it is. I I've been Sam, I've been on the phone with customer service, um, I had customer service plus, the company that does the blacklisting thing, and then another area of customer service, and I talked to the manager of the store where I bought it, and now I have another phone number to call on Monday, and so I will update on Monday if I have any joy. In the meantime, I have the 2017 up on Swappa. If anybody's interested in a reasonably priced 2017 MacBook, um, then yeah, it's it's something that we could talk about. And mainly, like, if it were just me and I didn't do this, then it wouldn't be that big a deal. It wouldn't be that big a deal. This is a great machine. It's not as powerful as the new one. It kind of sucks that the new one came out a few weeks after I bought this one. However, um, oh, is that the Best Buy CEO's email address? I might just oh, I'm gonna copy that. And when I was doing research about what was this company that Best Buy contracts with to deal with their return stuff, I found this article that mentioned not only, like, basically the Wall Street Journal and a bunch of other uh, publications have been on Best Buy a little bit for the way that they practice their practices through this company. It's a little shady how they use people's personal information. Um, and again, I'm just now starting to educate myself on it, but it it is really a shady way to treat your customers. Like, I don't know if I said this already in the stream, but between buying the OLED TV that I got for the family for Christmas, and but it was after Christmas that I got it, and buying this MacBook, I've spent, like, and plus other things that I bought at Best Buy, I'm on the way to spending $10,000 in their in their store. Um, and you would think that would make a difference, but Slava, the thing is, it's attached to my Best Buy rewards account. So, they would look up the receipt, it would be attached to that account. As soon as they try to return it would it would just say no, this guy can't return stuff. So it sucks. Yes, true. And I'm not gonna say that like I'm totally innocent of anything here. Like I do use the Best Buy return policy. Um, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I know that I use it more than regular people probably do. So I'm gonna take some of that on my end of this. But if if I was picking up computers and they were defective and I was returning them, it wasn't because I was somehow trying to game the system or be fraudulent or anything like that. So, no, Monaco, you're right. Best Buy's not really gonna lose anything. Uh, and you would think that I don't know if I don't know how to think about this. I don't know how the rest of the world sees like YouTubers and stuff. But if by the way, thank you for the $10 super chat, and Eric, Creator of the Week. Thank you for the $5. Much appreciated. Um, did I? Yeah, and so Slav, I answered that question, but I don't know. Like, if you had somebody who had a relatively decent following on YouTube who shopped in your store, would you consider that like a good thing or a bad thing? Because 'cause I'm getting, like, negative vibes, like, somehow YouTubers are out to get Best Buy or, game the system or something, so I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting question. See, David, one thing about Amazon is, Amazon's business was predicated on, okay, it's like a delivery service, so they have to be a little bit more flexible, right? So you can order 3 sizes of a shirt and then get it and you try on all 3 sizes and you return the one that you return the ones that didn't fit right and you've got your shirt. So, I think for brick and mortar stores like Best Buy, people are treating their people are returning things like they would return to Amazon, and Best Buy is not happy about it. Um, yeah, so yeah, and Eric, I agree, like, if maybe I'm old fashioned or maybe I just don't have, the patience to wait. But, I like to be able to go into a store and have the experience of, like, buying something, browsing, picking it out, knowing what I want, walk out of the store with it. There's something that's really satisfying about that to me. Um, so I I do shop a lot for stuff that I shop a lot on Amazon, like, I make a little bit of affiliate money on Amazon, like 150 or 200 bucks a month, and I use that to get stuff for the studio or stuff for, like, camera accessories or whatever that I need for the channel, and I do buy other stuff from Amazon that isn't available in any store. Uh, yeah, B&H Photo, is a really great site as well. So, Scott, thank you very much for the $10, man. Much appreciated. And thank you for being here and checking out the stuff. Um, Jose, good to see you. I'm kind of scrolling through the chat as I was talking there for a while. So Zach works in retail, so he can probably shed or he doesn't work in retail. He works in wholesale, but deals with retail, I should say. So I'm sure he has some light that he could shine on some of this stuff as well. I just noticed, like, I don't know if this is something that Best Buys do everywhere, but at my local Best Buy, they would carry things like power supplies or RAM or, hard drives and stuff like that, but now they're actually, Now they're actually carrying motherboards and Intel chips, so you can basically build an entire I don't know if I saw that they had cases, but you can build an entire, um you can build an entire computer straight from Best Buy, and the prices weren't bad, if I recall, so no, iClone, you're not wrong. I've very often sort of, like, inserted myself into conversations that customers are having with the Salesforce, um, and just, like, inserting a little bit of information that I might know that doesn't seem like the sales guy or gal knows. So, I mean, they're young kids, and just getting they're just getting their first real job experience, and I don't know that any of them are some of them are tech enthusiasts, but I don't know that the majority of Best Buy customers really care about tech. Yeah, I'm sure they hate it. I mean, I get the hairy eyeball from the folks in my local Best Buy every time I come in. Every time I come in, it's like there's some new atmosphere in the store. It's like, "Oh, that guy's here again." Um, which kinda sucks, you know? But I'm afraid of Enlightened Apple fanboy, I appreciate the $5, thank you very much. I'm a little bit afraid of Lord Bezos, to tell you the truth. There's a lot that Amazon does incredibly well, and they've innovated in a lot of ways, for retail, but they have the potential to, like, take over everything, and that kinda scares me. Geek Squad, I haven't really ever dealt with them. I had a hard drive crash on a laptop probably, like, 12, 15 years ago, and I got them to, like, get the info off of it and put it on CDs for me because that's how long ago it was. Um, but I've never dealt with Geek Squad other than that one time. So, Rashid, somebody was one of the Best Buy guys was actually saying, like, if you don't get Geek Squad protection, you'll have your identity stolen. Uh, yeah, I tend when I go into the Best Buy, like, they'll be the person who comes and says, like, "Oh, hey, do you need anything?" Garvo, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Um, but but yeah, uh, I don't necessarily. There's some Best Buy employees that I've been on sort of a friendly basis with, and when I go into the store, I'll chat with them. But by and large, I just don't want to be bothered. Zach, do I have funny road trip stories from my music days? I Yeah, of course I do. I've I think I kinda got into one last night, yeah, just but this one tour that we went on, we were playing a festival, and then we were playing in Bloomington, Indiana, and then we were playing a festival in St. Louis, Bloomington, Indiana, um, and then on to Chicago for another show where we were opening for a band that was gonna draw a lot of people. So we were excited. The 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 show at the show at the festival was packed, and, then we got to Bloomington, Indiana. Um, it's summertime, and that's a college town, so there's not very many people there, and by the time we get halfway through our first set, we're literally playing to the staff. Um, at a s So we finish our first set, and we're supposed to play another, like, hour-long set after that. The sound man comes up to us and offers us, half of what he's making that night, like 40, $50 or something like that, if we just call it a night at 1 set, and he gets to go home. And the thing was, we were gonna be sleeping in the van that night, so that got us a Motel 6 room, and there were 5 people in the band, so 5 people in one Motel 6 room is intimate in ways that you don't wanna be intimate. Uh, you get to know how everybody's sleeping quirks. But then we went on to Chicago and had a great show there, but we had to be back in New York, like, literally the next day, so we were driving from Chicago to New York, and we were driving overnight, and we had this weird experience. Like, it was dark, there wasn't really anybody on the road, and we s at one point, we saw in the distance, um, like, a car sort of off the road a little bit, and stuff as we got closer, there was stuff in the highway, uh, and we kinda drove we slowed down as we drove past, and it seemed like everybody was alright and everything, um, but it was another band had, like, wrecked their van into the median, uh, and their gear was, like, spread out all over the was spread out all over the highway, and, so myself and our drummer were the only ones awake. I was in the passenger seat, and she was driving, and, we both looked at each other like, "That's weird." Like, sort of Twilight Zone weird, like you just entered um, some other dimension. But then we stopped at sunrise at a Cracker Barrel, and everyone in the band, I mean, we were just completely punch drunk, so we decided it was Sunday. It was Sunday, and we were there at, like, get out of church time, and we hadn't bathed in several days, probably looking pretty nasty. And we decided we were all gonna go in and order and pretend that we're British. So we all put on British accents, and we're just kind of like, kind of over the top about it. And this would have been somewhere in Ohio, maybe. And, yeah, the after church crowd was not very much a fan of our scruffy, smelly asses. Uh, I that's one of those times where I felt like, most of the people in the room probably thought we were Satanists or something, but it was fun. I mean, I loved going on the road. I love doing that kinda stuff. Um, anyway, yeah, why aren't people hitting the like button? You don't like what you're seeing? Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. I mean, I know maybe my energy is down a little bit tonight, perhaps, but I am tired from like, we had to move it. So, the basement flood ruined my IKEA, Alex drawers. Don't ever get the Alex drawers wet because they will not like it. And so we had to carry those out, and they were still, like, swollen and somewhat wet at the bottom, and, and then a couch out of there, and, uh, a lot of heavy stuff. Today was the heavy stuff, uh, going into the dumpster. We got one of those, like, I think it's like 20-foot long dumpster, and we're just throwing most of our house into it. So, yeah. Sam, it is after hours time. They did think we were communists. Um, so and weren't necessarily, uh, probably wrong about that, at least in what they would con consider a communist, but, Vipers at 9:30, people, we gotta do better than this, okay? We gotta do better than this. Anybody who hasn't gone and sub to Viper, open yourself up to something new. Check out this guy. He's always got a ton of energy. I don't know how he does it, but he's always got a ton of energy. That blue stuff that he drinks is maybe not Kool-Aid, um, and that might be it. But yeah, go over and check out Viper. Hey, Zach, Malika, do you guys still have Zach's channel link? Um, I almost got so when I was shopping for computer cyclone, I almost got the Dell XPS 2-in-1, but I was a little leery of the graphics, uh, and the overall power of that. So so I kinda passed over that, but then they released the newer XPS 15. However, I had my money, like, already in Best Buy, so I didn't decide to, like, pull it out and go try that. I've just had really, really bad luck, in terms of, like, audio gear and camera stuff and all that kinda thing. Just had really bad luck having that stuff be, stable and just ready to go when I need it to be, uh, for YouTube, for, music stuff, all that kinda stuff. Um, a lot of times there are some audio, like, interfaces and that kinda thing that have better web drivers or better drivers for Windows than others, but, y I don't wanna have to buy equipment just because it works better than or works at all on a Windows machine. Apple, because of Core Audio and how all that stuff works, it's pretty much like set it and forget it kinda thing. So, while there's a lot of stuff that I did like about Windows, I did not like having to fool around with it all the time, and, like, shake things and unplug things and plug back in and da 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 da. But the XPS machines um, look really incredible. So, Danny, long story short, uh, I bought a bunch of computers from Best Buy, each one defective in some way. I got banned from returning things from Best Buy, and now I'm still within my return period, and I wanna return the 2017 MacBook Pro that I got 3 weeks ago, um, and get the 2018, but Best Buy system won't let me do it. And I've been on the phone, I've been to the store, I've been all over the place, and I will not be denied. Just let's make that clear. I will not be denied. This is happening. It's just a matter of it's just a matter of, like, me being the squeaky wheel in enough places, and now I've got the email for the CEO of Best Buy, so maybe I'll just hit him up. Um, yeah, I almost got an Alienware. I almost got the Alienware 17R5 because I had the 17R4 for a while and I really liked it, but the one thing that stopped me is the size. They didn't and, like, again, I was in the Best Buy store. I would have considered a 15, but they only had last year's 15. Um, and so I like the upgradability of the R5, um, all the Alienware machines, but the guy that I was working with at Best Buy, we went and got, like, every backpack and shoulder bag that they sold at Best Buy to see if that machine would fit in any of them, and it did not. Like, there was not a backpack or laptop bag or shoulder bag, messenger bag, nothing would carry that thing, and it also weighs 10 pounds. Knowing that I was gonna be traveling twice in the month of June, I was like, it's a cool machine, but I think I need to go with something that's maybe a little bit more like 4 pounds. Um, C. Schmidt, um, I haven't found a way to try and return something that I bought in store to the mothership. They've kind of taken away a lot of options in their web portal for customers, which is pretty frustrating. Like, I used to be able to print out receipts, like, right from my right from my computer, and now they don't give they'll show you what your transactions were, but they don't give you a link to print out receipts, and that's really annoying. Rashid, that's a really good, that's a really good question. The one thing that stops me from doing that is the closest Apple store is, like, 2.5 hours away. Um, so it would be a real bummer to drive up there and then get shut down by them. I guess I could call and say, "Hey, this is my situation," um, and see what they would say, but again, I never trust anybody that I talk to on the phone, so, because it never works. So, I've still got my Mac Pro 1, comma 1, um, and I'm thinking that when I move into the new house, I'm gonna leave that as, like, the studio computer, and then my laptop will be the one that I can take into the studio or move out and do stuff, at some other location so I don't have to just sit in one place if I need to do work. Um, so that's what I'm hoping. And if I get this 2018, I mean, that's gonna be a great machine uh, for quite a while, as long as the keyboard doesn't die. So Viper got another sub. What are we up to now? Sam, I that's a good idea, and maybe I'll even call just, like, the Apple regular, like, Apple 1-800 Apple or whatever it is, and see what I can get happening. Um, Drone, we've already kinda covered the Taylor Swift thing. I don't wanna go back into it. Um, I I misunderstood or misinterpreted or whatever. 9:34, people. We gotta get going on helping our man Viper. Um, so yeah, he got mad and made a video that, I mean, in the best of all situations, we would have worked it out in a different way, but that's how it is. Um, Hector, excuse me, Hector. So the way I interpreted or misinterpreted Drew's tweet with that photo was he was, going at Zone of Tech and everything Apple Pro for being software pirates. And, knowing what Zone of Tech had already been going through with this channel strike and stuff, it seemed to me like kick a man while he's down, kind of in poor taste. Yeah, that it was supposed to be a joke was not obvious to me. Um, so, like I said, someplace else, maybe I'm just too old to get the young people humor, but um, which iPhone am I planning to get in the fall? I would like to get the iPhone Gigantor 6.5-inch model, um, and maybe get one of the 6.1 inches, but just because I wanna be able to compare the 2 and see if there's a noticeable quality dip, for the lower priced model. Um, so that's what I'd like to do. I just have it's always a matter of, like, whether or not I have the liquidity to do such a thing. So, yeah, potato chips, very weird to refer to someone as potato chips, but, yeah, I saw the iFixit, um, I read an article about it, and then I saw the little video that they made, um, and that little barrier that little plastic barrier looks like, um, it looks like it has the opportunity to work and solve the problem. Whether or not it does, I don't know. Um, so but at least I mean, they really kinda knocked it out of the park with these updates. Um, and surprised the hell out of me. Mr. Tech, hello, good to see you. Yeah, iPhone Gundam, iPhone Canyonero. Anybody anybody Simpsons fan? Um, Simpsons have been on the air for what, like 30 years now? It's unbelievable. Mr. Jeff Peck, how does the keyboard feel different? I know it's quieter, but what's the difference in, like, the tactility, I guess? Yeah, El Jefe, you're right, she is. Um, she just got one of those she's got one of those personalities that comes across on camera as, like, just there's a good energy that comes off of her. So, Rashid, thank you for the super chat, man. Yeah, new videos coming. New videos coming. This week is gonna be busy with We Move on Friday, but, I've got a couple of things already in the can that I need to edit, and I've got some I got a Can You Trust, even though that's, seemingly in poor taste. I've got a Can You Trust video that I'm working on as well. So, uh, we'll I'll be back. Yeah, I feel like I've been kind of, kinda getting a little, like, fangirly on iJustine, but, doing the video on her really was an educational moment for me because I had never really thought too hard about her as and what she did. I mean, I knew that I liked watching some of her videos I would but I wasn't like an everyday video. Um, I wasn't watching like every video that she put out. But when I did the Can You Trust and I kind of really started to think about it, I realized like that she really does have a lot to bring to the table. And unfortunately in male dominated fields like tech, sometimes people, it's almost like, oh, she's too good looking or she's a girl or whatever to take seriously, and I just think that's bullshit. So, um, and in the comments for that video, I of course get called, what is it? Soy boy, people are calling me. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. So maybe somebody can tell me, but I don't think it's meant to be anything good. Jeff, I have talked to her. I went back and forth, DMs on Twitter with her just the other day. Um, she asked about the rest of July, and so we have this Tuesday coming up. Oh yeah, and we got to plug this Tuesday because there's a um, big development in the Painfully Honest Tech podcast, like the whole sort of DNA of the Painfully Honest Tech podcast is shifting. Zach Talks Tech is coming on as my regular co-host on the show, and we're gonna this week it'll just be the two of us, and we'll be chatting, talking about stuff. If you have things that you want us to talk about, then you can send whatever kind of message is appropriate. Uh, and I'm really excited because we got Zach in his first episode this Tuesday, and then Tuesday the 24th we have Mr. Mobile himself, Michael Fisher, as our guest, and I'm hoping that I can get Justine uh, in that last week of July. But I'll keep bugging her until it works, and I'm still trying to get Flossie Carter. We go back and forth on email. Um, I think that's gonna work out, but just haven't been able to, like, say a day, like, this day at this time, and okay. But yeah, I think it is gonna be a lot of fun. I like doing the podcast where it was just, just me. It was easy to, just kind of be focused on what I wanted to talk about. But, um, it also had this weird feeling of, like, I'm just sitting there talking to myself, which was weird. Okay, cuck, is that cuck as in cuckold? 'Cause that's like a married man whose wife is cheating on him with another dude. Um, I don't know. People confuse me these days. Um, so, okay, tech for your needs. Who are we talking about? Yeah, Mr. Tech. I wanna get Erica on the podcast as well, and Crystal. I don't know Crystal. I've worked a little bit with Erica, but I'd love to have her on as well. I mean, you know, one of the reasons why I started the Can You Trust series wasn't so that I could be a climber and stand on the shoulders of giants and get subs by using other people's names. That was not my goal. My goal was to sort of really look at the people who make up the tech community on YouTube and how and why we do what we do, and what is our responsibility, in terms of ethics and that kind of thing. And there's some people whose ethics are spotless, and there are some people whose ethics are not. And there are some people who maybe um, get a little lazy with their content, and there are some people who are always on point. So I want to have that conversation. I'm sure I now know that there are people out there who um, I now know that there are people out there who uh, think that I'm trying to just game the system, or, like, get subs by attaching myself to larger YouTubers, but that isn't, um, that isn't what I'm trying to do. Uh, um, Mari, I don't know if I'll do everybody in the tech scene. Like, I did Marquez Brownlee first because literally the day before he had won, creator of the decade, so I thought that was um, I thought that would be an interesting time to take a look at him and how he does what he does. Um, so there are obvious people, that are either, bigger people, or even people who are, up and coming, or in some way not necessarily controversial, but, like Flossie Carter, for some reason doesn't have a million subs, but he's really influential in the community, and he has his own thing that's very, very unique to him, and that was interesting to me. So, I just kind of want to have that conversation, because I think it's too easy to talk about icky stuff like that, and do it in a non-public way. Um, so I just yeah. Anyway, Scott, thank you for being here, man. Go enjoy some food. No, the Can You Trust series is going to be one of the major tent poles of my content going through the rest of this year, and likely on through, you know, until I get totally sick of it, or nobody wants to watch. And another series that I'm working on. I've done a couple, um, and I've got a couple of the no, I'm not speaking. I've done a couple of these. if blank company were painfully honest. I've done a couple of those. Um, they the way that I did those 2, they were kind of labor intensive because I wrote a script and was trying to be funny and all that. Um, but but at the same time, like, I wanna get back to that is what I'm trying to say. But I don't feel like I've really gotten a handle on the exact way to do it. Because that's the whole thing, like, I've been the whole time I've been doing this channel, I've been talking about, doing I've been doing tech reviews and talking about tech and all that's and that's something that I really like to do, but I feel like if you're gonna grow your channel so that it can be sustainable and a little bit more than, um, so it's not one dimensional, you gotta kinda branch out and find new ways to make different kinds of videos. And so that's what I'm trying to do with these series. I think last night when we were on our gigantic discussion um on Viper's channel, we were talking about I might so there are a lot of companies that just offer to send really garbage products, and I thought, maybe I can start a series where I actually agree to take those products and then just, you know, really let say in the review how much garbage they are. Um, so it wouldn't necessarily be too different than any of my other reviews, but it would be a thing. Mari, so here's the thing, like the Can You Trust series, at least at this point in its evolution, is sort of punching up. I'm looking at people who are larger than me and, kind of talking about what they do, how they got where they are, just exploring that. I want to do something for smaller YouTubers. I just haven't yet been able to figure out what it is because I feel like me doing a can you trust on a smaller YouTuber, would at least have the potential to be misconstrued by folks, and I wouldn't want to do anything that could even be potentially misconstrued as detrimental to a smaller YouTuber that's trying to make their mark and grow. So I will there's something that I'm gonna do. I mean, John has been really good at the community that he's built over there at Front Page Tech. Him and Brian both um, is really great, and the way that he's found opportunities to give back and feature um, some folks uh, in different ways, I think is really amazing too. I'm mad that somebody said John's over talking to Drew on Twitch. I'm mad because John could come over here and talk to me. I just give him a link and he could come talk, but, whatever. I'm not really explaining myself. No can do PDX. Okay. Um, I'm not really I'm not really explaining myself. Um, I think it's important that I do have some way of, like, verbalizing what it is that I'm trying to do with that. So when people do accuse me of stuff, then, um, then I have a response. But I don't apologize for anything. Um, there's life's too short to say like, "Oh, well, maybe I go back and I do that," and, no. I don't I'm not an asshole, but I'm not somebody who's gonna try and make everybody like me. I spent a good portion of my life trying to make everybody like me because I was adopted, and adopted kids have a real need for that sense of, uh, I guess, that sense of acceptance. And so I really needed that for a lot of my life. And over the past 5 or 6 years, I have decided that that is not a healthy thing for me to seek. So I don't really want, um, I don't really want to apologize for anything. Um, yeah, no, Maury, you're right. There are a lot of good YouTubers that are under 1K, and need to have some light shined on their channel. I mean, Viper, who we're kind of pushing tonight, trying to get him up to 1,000 subscribers. Uh, you know, he's one of them. There are a lot of people in the chat right now who fall into that category. Um, but yeah, I just haven't figured out. I don't feel like maybe I've gotten to the place with my channel that front page tech is where I can where there's a space for me to do that effectively. So that's what I'm doing. Tech for your needs. Can you trust series? Anyone above 200K? Yeah, yeah. Um, I that's probably about right. I mean, 200K even 200K, even though it seems like a lot, is still kind of like, you're just building a strong foundation. Like 100K seems like that's where the foundation, like the foundation keystone is set, and then as you go through the hundreds of thousands, that's when you really build the house. So I'm a big fan of Mobile Tech Review. Lisa, I watch her stuff quite often. I mean, I watch her stuff when I am thinking about making a purchase. She is most definitely somebody that I go to because she's just so good at sort of walking through all the features of the device, and she does give her strong opinions one way or the other, but it's not off-putting. Uh, I, so yeah, I think she's great, and I may do a Can You Trust on her. Um, Jerry Rig Everything. See that? Well, the thing about Zach from Jerry Rig Everything is okay. I don't. It would be a different kind of Can You Trust. I mean, here's a guy that's his channel is really about exposing things, you know, problems with devices or whatever. And so it would be a different kind of episode of the show just because of that. But I got to meet Zach at VidCon and talk to him for about 5 or 10 minutes, and he was a really cool guy. I enjoyed talking to him, so hopefully I get a chance to do that a little bit more. Chris Perillo, who's like who sort of excised himself from YouTube, from what I hear. Uh, I would say, Mari, that Chris Perillo, I mean, he's a little salty, and sometimes he's more salty than others. So, but now, like, I guess he's not really making video YouTube. That's what I've heard. I went and looked at his channel a month or so ago, and he hardly had anything on there from recent time. So I don't know. I don't know. Um, can you trust yourselves? That, my friend, is the question we all must answer in our most dark and alone moments. Chris Perillo is interesting. Somebody told me that, like, somebody mentioned in a chat or something. They said, like, "Oh, you're going to be the new Chris Perillo," and I don't. I mean, he's just such a. He seems like he's just such a different personality type than me. But I do like his sort of candor with how he talks about things. Sometimes I think he goes for effect a little bit, but I have heard of Nick Ackerman. I've watched some of his iPhone stuff, and you know, pretty good. I mean, I watched a lot of his iPhone SE content, and yeah, I I don't know. I mean, he's pretty good, but uh, I'll save it for the Can You Trust. How's that? You know, like somebody said earlier, Perillo's been around for a long, long time. Um, and I would imagine that there's ebbs and flows of, interest and enthusiasm for doing certain things at certain times. So, Sat, thank you. I will keep up the good work. Yeah, Tim, I followed some of that iPhone 10 Pixel stuff. I found it in I found it interesting, but not really being like totally immersed in his channel and where he's been in the past. Um, I wasn't following super closely. Any advice for upcoming tech YouTubers or very small ones? Um, make videos. Make videos and put them on YouTube, and don't worry about whether anybody watches them or not. Because honestly, like you have to like make the whole process worth something to you and its own reward in some way. Otherwise, you'll always be looking for the payoff that comes after, and that's a really shitty feeling, and it doesn't always happen. But yeah, I mean, it has been proven time and time again that creators who succeed on YouTube are the creators who get on the platform, start making videos, make as many videos as you can, um, and then do that for like a few years. That was the pattern that my channel took. Like, I started making videos in late 2013, and I did it kind of in varying degrees of seriousness until 2000, mid 2016, 2017. At January 2017, didn't really, um, I didn't really, I don't think I had 2,000 subs yet. And then in June of 2017, I had just barely reached, uh, 5,000 or close to it. And then suddenly in October and November, when I started covering the new iPhones and some of the other smartphones that were coming out around that time, I you know, it's like the sales just caught wind, and I got some interesting I got some people looking, and I started to get some subs. But I was going at it as like, you know, even if success for my YouTube channel was like, I set a goal for, like, I think the end of this year. At the beginning of 2017, I think I remember setting a goal, something like I wanted to be at 10,000 subscribers, like, sometime in 2018. And and then I just went way crazy past that. At this point, I mean, I don't know how much you can trust these numbers, but, Social Blade has me hitting 100,000 subscribers in, like, 4 months. So, I it's, it's I really don't know what to say. Ronnie, thank you so much for the super chat, man. What is that currency? I can't think. I I hope it's not like a super huge ton of money. I really do appreciate it. Thanks. Okay. Um, Tony, thank you. Appreciate it, man. Oh, thanks for the conversion. And still, again, thank you for thank you for the super chat. I don't know why you don't get notified when I start streaming. The general consensus among everybody is that YouTube hates us. So so maybe that's it. I don't know. Um, Dominic, yeah, I mean, I noticed my sub count, of course. Like, you're doing it. It's a way to what is knock or NOK? What is it? Because I don't know. Again, I'm an old man, so you have to tell me what I'm looking at. Um, What am I doing here? I I lost the chat. It went to another window again. I gotta drag it back over here. Okay. Now chat and face are back. I don't know why I feel like I have to see my face, but you know. Yeah, as I was saying, like, yeah, of course I noticed my sub count. Like part of what I really enjoy about something like YouTube or like being being a um musician and trying to make it, quote unquote. Um so I like the game of it. I like to try and figure out how to do it myself. Um and sort of make the system work for me. So that's definitely part of it, but there's more to it than that as well. Okay, I'm trying to do things and chat. Sorry. Um, Norwegian. Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. Don't isn't Nor I don't know. I'm not gonna try and sound like I know anything about currencies. I'm terrible with money, and I'm terrible with American money. So I'm yeah, Norway. Okay. Again, thank you, Ronnie. I really appreciate it. If I'm as old as I feel, like after after packing and everything today, and being up until 4:30 in the morning last night, um, I feel about, I don't know, maybe 72. Well, Mari, you're right. Um, part of part of learning and getting better at something, that you can't do it without making the mistakes. You can't do it without like not being able to see the big picture. That's part of how you have to the sort of thing that you have to go through. What really separates the people who succeed from the people who quit is that the people who succeed, again, they're not entirely looking for that dopamine kick of like, oh yeah, people love my video. They're interested in doing it on many different on many different levels. Like I said, the game of trying to figure out how it works or anything else like that. Um, or just for me, so I've done this like quote unquote creative professional thing for a long time. I was a songwriter for the better part of 15 years. And then I went to graduate school for fiction writing out here at Iowa. And you know, I have written 2 novels at this point. And the one thing I learned, the lesson that I learned the most from writing novels is that you you spend a lot of time alone in a room with just like the voices in your head trying to do this thing. It took me 8 years to write my first novel, and that was like, daily sort of working away at it, trying to learn. Um, and I went to the best graduate school in the world for writing, and I still had to learn how to write a novel by writing a novel. And it's the same thing for YouTube. You learn how to be successful on YouTube by making YouTube videos and accruing that over, however long. No, no. If I'd written 50 Shades of Grey, I, I I I might still be doing YouTube videos, but I certainly would, have a much different lifestyle. Yes, you just need to make videos, and, as many as you can make in in a week. Start out slow, start out with 1 or 2 and then maybe move to 3 and keep on that pace. Again, the consistency is what matters, that you just double down and say, "Come hell or high water, I'm gonna follow this pattern, and it'll start to work, but it takes a long time, and that's, you know, last John and Roberto Blake have been talking a lot on Twitter and as well as on live streams and other stuff about what are creators entitled to. I don't even, but to me that's like not even it's not even a question. I don't care what they think they're entitled to. If they're thinking about money, then they're not in the right headspace to be successful. Um, and they won't be until it means something different than money to them. Most of those people will quit because chasing money and getting none is very demoralizing. So, that's the best advice that I could give is, make it be for you for a reason that matters to you, um, and dedicate yourself to it. But don't do it like a draft horse. Don't work like a coal miner every day if you don't love it, because that's just miserable. Grind my gear video rants? What Retaria, what would that be about? Um, I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. Like, this was the advice that Marquez Brownlee gave out a few years ago. Like, start with what you have. So if you have a newer smartphone or any smartphone, like, you can do tutorials. Um, you can do tutorials on how to do things with the phone. You can do, features on, like, the camera. You can do speed tests. You can milk a lot out of, like, a single device. I think I've made, like, over 10 videos about the iPhone 10, um, because it was working. Um, so yeah, start with what you have and just work from there, man. Yeah, I think Zach's right. If you're in YouTube for the money or for the recognition or any of that kind of stuff, it's just like everything else is like this. The people who succeed are the people whose priorities are not in those places. And it's a lot longer road than a lot of people are willing to walk. And there's n I think I saw somebody say failure um, is the best teacher. Uh, so there's no reason to, like, in America, we put a premium, or in Western culture, I know we've got Canadians in here, so I'm not gonna leave them out. In Western culture, we tend to judge our self-worth on our perceived success in whatever venue we enter, right? So we put a lot of our personal value into that. So if I do a lot of work on YouTube and I make it me, like, I am a YouTuber, and that's my definition. That if that's all there is, then you're gonna fall flat on your face. And eventually you'll learn things and you'll do things and you'll, like, because when my music career didn't go the way that I had anticipated that it would, um, I found myself at, like, 32 years old, like, wondering what the frick I was gonna do for the rest of my life, because the only thing I ever wanted to do was write songs, get in front of people, and play music. And there's still a part of me that really wants to do that, wishes that it was, like, what I did, but I've also grown up a lot. My entire my entire identity was music. Like, I am this thing, and when that thing didn't lift me up and make me something more, everything fell apart. So, lesson learned there, you have to be a person. that does whatever, um, and be multidimensional. So there's diversification of, like how you approach YouTube so that you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, but there's also got to be diversification of who you are as a person and how you're going to approach the things that come into your life. It gets, you learn from every experience. So I've been fired from several jobs. Um, yeah, I've just had a lot of experiences where it, you know, it would have been I don't think I would have been judged harshly for just saying like, "Okay, I'm done." Um, but I didn't. I kept going, and at a certain point, I realized like if I keep going back to this creative stuff, even at the really darkest, most difficult points in my life, then doing creative stuff is what I do. It may not be what I make money at, but it's what I do. So my job in life is to like do those things and find a way to also be responsible husband and father to my family and to live for more than just that very much, one-dimensional thing. So, I went off there for a while. I hope you guys I hope it made sense. Because I'm not entirely sure. Um, I'm scrolling back to see what I missed. Uh, yeah, well, I mean, iPhone rumors, Retario, iPhone rumors are the lifeblood of what we all care about. It's like farmers talking about crops in the wintertime. Of course they're gonna talk, it's what they do. So, anyway, I know Zach is planning on going live here, as soon as I get done, and having stayed up until 4:30 in the morning and gotten up somewhat early, I'm starting to flag a little bit. So, I'm gonna leave you guys, and Zach, you wanna pop up a link so that people can come find you and chat with you over on your stump? But thanks, no, I was on like a group live stream from midnight until 4:30 in the morning last night. Hell's favorite Mike. I'm just gonna say Mike because Hell's favorite angel is confusing to me. Um, so yeah, yeah, Ronnie, it's if that's what you need to do, I mean, you got to go to the places and make the sacrifices that you feel like are necessary to take you where you want to go. Rotario, yeah, the stream I was on the stream for 4 hours, but the stream, I think the stream went 8 hours and then shut down, and we continued to talk for, like, another hour and a half because we found the limit of Google Hangouts, stream time, 8 hours. You can only stream for 8 hours, and then it cuts you off. So that's what we did. And, Viper was hosting, and we had a lot of really good tech YouTubers on there. John was on there, Zach was on there, Roberto Blake was on there. Met a bunch of new YouTubers that I hadn't met in quote unquote person before. So it was a great conversation. It just went all over the place, as most of my conversations do. So I'm not taking credit for it, but yet I seem to be complicit in those kinds of conversations all the time. But anyway, guys, I really do appreciate you guys stopping in. I love to have these conversations. Thank you so much. And yeah, my name's Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest it hurts. Until the next time, I'm out.